No, don't make promises you can't keep.
Joining us right
no.
now. Joining us right now. Look at this guy, Chubby Dudley Bay Ragni,
It's a
member
hell
of
of a
the.
greeting there, Brady. I get
Uh,
looked on by freaking Rat Boy.
well, you know what?
It's a shame
I
that
got
he
attacked
followed
by.
Ratboy you with he followed Ratboy with you because you are by 1,000 times better than Ratboy could ever be.
Just
Yeah,
1,000.
TWA original, ECW original. It's great. It's great to see you, brother. You look good. By the way, not for nothing, but I just got attacked by Mr. Ooh La La, so anything can happen on this show.
Was it an attack like Gunther on Pat McAfee?
Something like that. Yeah, you tried to choke me out pretty much, and so I'm
That
not
could
looking forward to
happen.
Saturday now.
That could happen Saturday at WrestleCon.
It could. It could. I told him I'll make sure to sneak up on his left side just in case, and hopefully we'll be good. Hopefully we'll be good. Yeah. So I think the entire wrestling world, it feels like, Bay, is they're all turning their heads toward Philadelphia for this Saturday between WrestleCon, TWA One and Done, the banners. You guys got the number of signatures that you needed. The whole thing has just been amazing. I mean, what are your thoughts as we head into this Saturday?
Is it over yet? It's when it's over.
Almost. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like it's kind of weird because me and Joel literally started working on this a year ago, and it's kind of weird that it's here because for the last 51 weeks, you kind of think to yourself, it's never going to happen. We're never going to get there. We're not going to get the signatures. We're not going to do the banner. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. And it's all been just coming together. And it's almost go time. So now's the time to be nervous to make sure we deliver on Saturday. I'm ready to deliver. Let's do this.
Well,
Fucking go.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like even like right up until like this week, there's been like announcements, like major stuff almost every day. I don't know how you guys are keeping tabs on everything that's going on. Is it possible that you guys are really going to be able to deliver all of these awesome matches and all of these attendees at the convention? Like, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop or something. It just almost seems too good to be real.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah.
You know what? It's going to be a hell of a day. It really is. I mean, for me, it's going to be a hell of a weekend because I start working in the afternoon on Friday at the arena to start getting things going, and then be at the arena back on Saturday at 8 a.m. and then doors open at noon, and then go through WrestleCon for 3.5 hours of getting a meet and greet the amazing and the best wrestling fans in the world, and that's a shoot. The Philadelphia area fans, whether you're coming from New York, Delaware, Jersey, there's people coming from all over the freaking country and the world for this because we can see, like in when people buy tickets, we can see where they're coming from and all their info, etc. I mean, it's pretty crazy that people are coming from all around the country and the world. So it's going to be a hell of a thing. I mean, when people are driving in from Canada and they're flying in from other countries, you know, the wrestling world is standing on their feet, waiting for this to happen.
I'm not picking them up.
You're not picking who up?
I got my list. I ain't picking anybody else up.
Okay. I'm not privy to those things, and I'm honestly staying out of that stuff. I'm just focused on my job is just to deliver Saturday night, and that's what I.
Bay, if you need a ride, you know I got you.
Hey, I might be in contact.
There you go. How special is it to you in particular to be doing all this at the ECW arena? You know, a building that has meant so much to you in the past.
You know, it's kind of weird because it's full circle in every degree of my wrestling career.
Yeah.
Where you have the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, where I mean, my heart was always with the TWA, with Joel. I was absolutely devastated when he closed up and went into hiding. I mean, he went into hiding, but I tracked his ass down a few years later and was in touch with him. And I used to call him for advice then. And he's always been to me that father figure because from day one, he always looked out for me. He always believed in me, and he would not let me quit. And I wanted to quit many times, and he would not let me quit. He always kept saying, "I see something in you." And now I break his balls. And I said, the sad part is what you saw in me was 35 years in the future, me helping you put this show together. So
Right.
I said, this is your own fault now. You screwed yourself. You should have just let me quit and this show wouldn't have happened. So doing the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, and then as many people know, Joel, the TWA, the talent, etc., and a lot of the people from behind the scenes, your Todd Gordons, your Bob Artiste, your Steve Truitts, all these people that were behind the scenes ended up carrying on after Joel left, forming ECW, which ends up taking over the wrestling world, which I was lucky to be part of, being a original ECW original, in both eras of ECW. And again, my heart has been with ECW and Todd, and that I've talked about this a lot in interviews, but I'm like a mark for arenas, hockey, football, baseball, wrestling. So the fact that we're doing it in, let's face it, the most popular wrestling arena in the world is only fitting, because that's where it deserves to be done, in front of the best fans in the world. And that's Philly. And I've said for 30 plus years, for the workers, anybody that's a worker in this business, if you can work in Philly and you can get over with those fans, you can get over anywhere. You're golden. So.
Okay, really interesting stuff. Now, you said a lot there, and a lot to unpack, but I want to start out with Joel Goodhart. What makes a Joel Goodhart event so special? Because I've heard it from so many different people.
His events were always, he was doing pay-per-view type events in the indie world of professional wrestling before like pay-per-views were really even a thing, before the whole monthly pay-per-view thing started. Joel was doing those quarterly shows where he was building up these angles in these small shows, whether it was the Bar Wars shows or in community centers or high school gyms around the tri-state area. And he was setting the groundwork and the storylines and building it up in those 13 weeks. And then the big crescendo at whether it was Super Summer Sizzler, Spring Spectacular, Winter Challenge, Autumn Armageddon. And those shows, it's like it's literally like the ECW arena shows of the peak years of ECW. They were just such magical moments. And my very first indie show was Autumn Armageddon 1990. And my whole life changed. My eyes were so open. I had no idea really what indie wrestling was at that point. And when I saw what I saw that night, and I mean, from the moment of the Cactus Jack Eddie Gilbert match, I was like, what is this? Like, what is going on? And there was like blood in every match, and everybody's fighting through the crowd. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I ever saw. It's the greatest night of my life. So they were just monumental, magical moments in wrestling history. And I sit here, Ryan Kavanaugh, who's the promoter and the man behind ECWA now. He's been monumental in helping us. There you go. Behind the scenes with a lot of this stuff. And he's also, as we've said and announced, he's doing a documentary on Joel and the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance and all these video vignettes that we've been sharing out the last 6 months and teaser stuff that will probably end up in the documentary. That's all Ryan's work. And Ryan, when he puts these things out, I sit here. I have, if you saw my laptop, I have like 30 freaking tabs open, and 10 of them are all these TWA teaser trailers. And I'll sit here at times just to, like, as I'm trying to figure things out and get in that mode, I literally will sit and watch them, and I watch them in order the way we put them out. And I sit here and I cry. I get so emotional because that stuff meant so much to me. Joel, Larry, Tony, Johnny, Drake, Donnie Allen, Jimmy Janetti, John Rock, Glenn Osborne, all these guys, they all mean so much to me. And they are, in my life, I went to Catholic grade school, okay? So we had a graduating class of like 45 kids, and we had through the years, sometimes 50, 55, but that core group of people still to this day are some of my best friends and just amazing people in my life. And it's like that with the wrestling business, with the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. That core from the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance are still some of my best friends to this day. Jimmy Janetti, he's truly a brother. That's the big term everybody uses in wrestling, but outside of wrestling, that man is my brother. And he has been so much to me in life, in the world. He also, my daughters, call him Uncle Randy, his shoot name. He's just been a huge part of my life, and I've been blessed to be graced by a Jimmy Janetti and all these other people, and I'm just very thankful. And it's going to be a very emotional day and night on Saturday, and even when some of us got together back in October at Joel's, Joel gave every person the floor to talk, and every single person cried. So
wow.
I don't think people, you can't stress enough just truly how much this really means for everybody. When you watch, and we put out the one clip and you see Joel start to break down, means a lot. This whole fucking show means so much to all of us.
Sure. You can tell it's emotional for sure. Joel has this reputation, and he'll be the first one to tell you.
What do you want to know?
He's never had a no-show, he claims. In his history, he's never had somebody not let him know that he wasn't coming. Why do you think that is? That people, go all out for him?
Because Joel always delivered. He brought these people in. He brought these top names in from whether the past, present, or future. He gave them a promise over the phone. Usually he overpromised what he should have been promising, and he delivered. And he took care of everybody like a true promoter. He was always good to everybody. He had amazing working relationships with all the top federations, whether it was, at the time, NWA, WCW, federations in Japan. He had working relationships with all these Lawler and, USWA at the time. Like, he had all these working relationships and was respected because he always delivered what he said he was going to do.
All right. Now, obviously, a lot of people have made the comparison between TWA and ECW, how one kind of led into the other. How would you compare them?
It really that, and I've said this over the years. What Joel was doing, I always said was unbelievable. It was magical. It was holy shit. TWA. They should have been chanting that, the years prior. Then when Todd and them came in and it was Eastern Championship Wrestling, they were trying to distance themselves from the whole Goodhart era of Tri-State and just trying to make a new name for themselves. And I've said it, and I've been outspoken, and Todd breaks my balls for it, but I thought the product sucked. I did. I thought the early Eastern Championship Wrestling stuff sucked. And even when Eddie came in, it wasn't that good, but Eddie had to take what he was handed, which wasn't the best,
Yeah.
and start to mold and shape and shift into what he wanted. And just as it was really starting to click and fire, Eddie rolls. But then when Paul really took over, that whole, it was like it really picked back up from like what Joel was doing and then just took it to the extreme, literally, and took it to a whole nother level because, I mean, let's face it, Paul Heyman's an absolute fucking genius in this business. So,
Sure.
And his proof is in the work that he did, still to this day. I mean, hello. You saw those people's faces at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that finish was a Paul Heyman finish all over it. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, typical Paul. He just swerved everybody.
But it's amazing though, like how many times he's even like kind of reinvented himself over the years. But it's like he always comes out on top. Kudos to him. He really is brilliant.
He is. He really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, ECW is going to be a huge part of WrestleCon, as I'm sure anybody would notice and probably expect, given it's the ECW arena. What are your thoughts about having so many of those guys from the original ECW as part of this convention and potentially even for the show later?
I mean, you have to. Let's face it. I mean,
yeah,
we tried to really, get the foundation and the basis of Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. But the scary part is, and Joel talks about this a lot in the interviews, and we're going to pay tribute to these people, in the 33 years, 32 years it's been, we've lost 46 members of Joel's locker room, whether it was some of the local guys, the names he would bring in on a consistent basis. 46 is a lot of people and a tremendous amount of talent. So it was, and plus it's kind of not only that, where it's 30 plus years later, we're all older. We're all in, I mean, I just turned 55 the other day. And I was one of the babies of the bunch. So, I mean, everybody's like pushing 60, in their 60s. Some are even in their 70s. So not much can be done in the ring, and who are we able just to get for WrestleCon? Who can we carry over to the show? So it was literally a whole building process, but you can't leave out ECW. And for Joel, it's kind of hard because he really, and I get it, he wants this. This is a Tri-State Wrestling Alliance show. This is not an ECW show. It's not an ECW reunion. But like I said to Joel one day, and it shut him up, and then he told me to go fuck myself. But I said, Joel, you got to remember, you left. You shut down. You left. You went away for 18 years. But 99% of your people stayed and got carried over to ECW. And a lot of those people made names for themselves, me included. So I said, you can't deny the ECW people because that's where they made their names. Yes, that we were all blessed by you. We got to start from you. But guys like Sandman, Stevie Richards, who's not going to be there, but guys like that who went on to major success, how can you not include them? And we were very, very bummed and upset. Richards, he declined. He did not want to be part of it. And it was just it wasn't a personal thing. It was just he really does not want to do appearances and do stuff like that. He just wants to do his podcast, and that's it. He doesn't want to take bookings.
Okay. You mentioned earlier about the TWA documentary, the Joel Goodhart thing that Ryan Kavanaugh is doing. And for anybody who saw A Backyard in Delaware on Prime,
awesome.
Just chronicling Jim Kettner and the ECWA. And Bay, obviously, that's another promotion that's been kind of near and dear to you over the years.
Absolutely.
But I mean, this documentary, I wasn't even aware it was being made. So that's a really exciting thing. Do you have any kind of details as far as when that could be done?
Actually, no, I do not.
Okay.
I know a lot of filming is being done naturally Saturday, before the show, during the show, etc. So I don't know. It's going to be after Saturday. Then it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be in Ryan's hands for the most part.
Yeah.
And then kind of see where he can shape the story out of it, and if he needs more interviews and stuff done. So yeah, I would expect, earliest end of the year, beginning of next year.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, but again, if you haven't checked out his work, be sure to check out A Backyard in Delaware.
Let me tell you something. I really gotta like really thank Ryan. He has been an absolute pleasure to work with. I love that guy.
Oh, he's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. He's so talented, and he has been a tremendous help to me and Joel. Joel brought him on board officially to be like the third wheel, helping us beginning of the year around the holidays. And I mean, he's done so much for us. He's been so helpful. A very smart person and tremendously talented person. Seriously.
And I have to say about Ryan, being a part of the ECWA, I've never seen somebody who's so hands-on and so invested in this product that like he does so much behind the scenes, having not been around when Paul Heyman was there with ECW, obviously. But I just see Ryan and everything. But at the same time, he gives everybody the creative freedom to kind of do what they need. So it's an amazing thing for sure. Yeah. So Bay, this Saturday, huge day for the TWA, for wrestling in general, South Philly, ECW, all that stuff. What can we expect out of this Saturday?
Do you mean out of one and done?
Yeah, let's say one and done.
An emotional fucking roller coaster of wrestling. Get ready for
Bring tissues.
Bring tissues. Get ready to go on a ride. I have pops, surprises, fun, every angle. Not every angle. Every emotion I'm going to touch. So be ready.
Okay. Kathy, I just saw you have a question. Go ahead.
Okay, well, not really a question.
No.
But I don't know if you heard. You remember Walt McDonald, Crybaby Waldo?
Joe Zanoli messaged me first thing this morning and told me his son passed away last night.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, he got hurt in a work accident. I just, John Finnegan had emailed me this morning, so.
Yeah, I think Joe said he thinks he was barely 25 years of age. Horrible.
Yeah.
It really is.
But what I want to say is, Bay, we have been friends forever and a day.
30 plus years, yeah.
Let me tell you, this weekend, I've been so excited for this. Joel called me first thing on Sunday morning. And it's like, you got to pick this one up, this one, da-da-da-da. I said, all right, give me the info later. I just can't wait to see everybody. Cully, Medusa, Missy, you, Hot Body, shut up, Stetson. Guys I haven't seen in ages. I haven't seen Hot Body in ages.
Let me tell you about me and Johnny have become very, very good friends over this past year. I mean, this is a guy who at once in wrestling, in the days of wrestling school back in 90, this probably happened in 91, when Joel started using the Blackhearts. They just didn't, like, I hadn't seen them really work, but the gimmick and it just didn't, like, float with me at the time. And I was sitting, I'll never forget this. I was sitting on the ring apron one night. We were bullshitting at wrestling school. And I said, Blackhearts do nothing for me. I think they suck. And Hot Body got in my face. And he said, who the fuck are you? They suck. He's like, what have you done in this business? And I was like, nothing. He's like, have you even had a match? Have you been paid to be a professional wrestler? I said, no. He said, you're a fucking nothing. You have no reason to badmouth anybody that gets in that ring, gets paid, and makes a living at it. He said, you need to learn respect. And that moment has stuck with me since 1991. And that is the day I officially learned respect, not only in the wrestling business, but in life. And now,
Babe, do you remember the old days with all the Dudley boys filming promos after the show?
Those were so. Usually, the Dudleys didn't have to start filming, luckily, until 6 in the fucking morning. And we would be. Paul would literally tell the locker room, he's like, I don't give a shit what you guys are doing, but when it's time to film your promos, you better be fucking ready. You better be on. And I'm like, well, fucking all night long, we're fucking partying like animals. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, Dudley's, and we're fucking destroyed. We're shit faced, but we did it. We fucking had so much fun. Kathy would always be sitting there and she'd be shaking her head.
One question: Did you guys ever get in touch with JT Smith?
We got in touch with JT finally about 2 months ago. Joel talked to him. JT was first off shocked that this was going on. He had no idea. He wants to be part of it, but he already had a family function booked that day. But he said he was going to try to make something happen to come, but we have not heard nothing since. So,
okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be an amazing day on Saturday for sure. And Chubby, Dudley, Ragni, thank you so much for the time here tonight. I hope we get tons and tons of people go to 2300arena.com and get their last minute ticket. I'm assuming we're pretty close to selling out at this point.
Tickets are definitely moving. It's funny. We put these tickets on sale early.
Yeah.
And Joe was hollering at me. He's like, why so early? Why so early? I'm like, because I want to get it out there and announce and just this way people know, and people know that we have that date. Well, it's kind of interesting how the last few weeks the tickets really start going then. So I've had it in Joel's mouth for the last 9 months.
I was actually about to ask the same question and all, like, where are things looking at as far as ticket sales are concerned?
It's getting better. It's looking good and it's getting better. And
I remember I looked about 2 months, maybe a month and a half ago, and it was at least 65-70% at that point. And that was still pretty early compared to when a lot of people start getting their tickets. So
right.
I feel really bad for a lot of people who haven't gotten their tickets yet. They're going to be very much shocked when it's
Joel had a meeting, went there in person about 6 weeks ago to do a walkthrough at Roger, and he was complaining to Roger, like he thought Joel was like, I thought it would be sold out, and Roger's like, you don't realize how great you're doing ticket wise. He's like, just relax. He's like, it's going to happen. Just relax.
Yeah.
Like everybody waits to the last minute.
Exactly.
No, it's totally true, and that's true in almost any sort of event. Really, people wait.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's events every weekend. There's so many events, and people got only limited money to go around, so they got to figure and pick and choose which one they're going to go to.
I mean, look, they had to bring on The Rock just to get Elimination Chamber over the edge, supposedly. So it happens, But it sounds like you guys are in great shape, and I'd imagine an amazing event on Saturday. So
going to be amazing.
Brady, are you saying, Brady, that they need to get The Rock on to put them over the edge? Come on now.
No, I don't think that they need The Rock. They already have Chubby Dudley. They're good.
I was going to say that should be enough in and of itself.
Hey, and if anybody wants to bring me roast pork sandwiches from the old Tony Luke's or
you go,
or bottles of wine, I am open. I am
what kind of wine?
Red. Anything red, I'm good with.
And then what's
Okay,
your
I got
sandwich
Bellasano.
preference? Like, how do you like your sandwich done?
Oh, the roast pork, sharp provolone, broccoli rabe, extra wet.
There you go,
Extra
people.
wet.
Bring
That's
that
how
for
Rat
Chubby
Boy
Dudley.
likes it. Extra wet.
Come on. Don't put me in rap boy. He just made me throw that. I just threw that sandwich up in my mouth. I didn't even fucking chew on it. Oh,
I'm
fuck,
kidding.
Brady.
I'm kidding.
I'll
I'm
have a few
kidding.
bottles
No.
of wine for you, Bay.
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
She'll
Kat.
help keep it down. Thank you so much for the time, Bay, and
Thank you,
best
guys.
of
I
luck
love you
this
guys.
Saturday. I can't wait to see you. Love you too.
Absolutely. Stroh's going to be there too, right?
He had to pull out medical.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Ah, shit.
Sadly, I shouldn't talk for him. You should, but yeah, no, he's got some lingering effects from everything from last year. So,
Okay. All right. What happens?
yep. But I'll be there.
That's all that matters.
Are we
Rat Boy will be
doing,
there.
are we doing an in the room show from the arena there, Brady?
I mean, that's the hope. Yeah, we'll see how it works
It's
out.
fun to get you on, Bay.
We'll be there.
Within reasonable time to get you on and get you.
That'd be great.
You're really fired up.
I'm sure he's gonna be. The thing is, the day of a show, I know how busy it gets, but we'll be there.
Hey, I might be hiding under I-95 somewhere. So.
Yeah, you'd be like Joe Zanoli during like an Abdullah the Butcher match, hiding in the shower somewhere.
After a couple of bottles of wine, you will be.
There you go. Thank you so much, Bay.
Thanks,
and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Absolutely. See you Saturday. 2300arena.com. Get those freaking tickets. Don't waste time. Don't be left out under I-95 with Stanley.
There you go. I'll see you, man. There you have it. Chubby Dudley, Bay Ragni. And it is going to be an amazing event. I can't say it enough. TWA one and done. It's we're going to have some fun with it for sure. For sure.